Hey everybody, Ben here. Welcome back to another Delta Force video. It's been a little while. I'm sure most of you probably realized there's been a brand new dev blog dropped today by the Delta Force team, specifically talking about the console version of the game and some really interesting changes that are coming in the new season update, which is coming out tomorrow on Tuesday the 18th of November, season 7. We had the patch notes go up for this, or the sort of early preliminary patch notes over the last few days, and there wasn't really much mention of console stuff, even though we were expecting to see some. So I was getting a little worried that they had just forgotten about us and not put any of it in, but it does seem like we're going to get some pretty good changes for console in this update. So I'm just going to have a little read through this today and just talk about my thoughts on it. I'll go into this in more detail once we get the update tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming that on YouTube and Twitch from midday UTC UK time, so stop by and have a look at it there. And I'll also be doing some videos doing some more in-depth testing of some of these new features as well once I've got my hands on them. But I thought you'd be interested to just take a look at some of this early information, get yourselves ready, get yourselves excited for some of the stuff that's coming with Season 7 for Delta Force console. So they list 12 major improvements down here. Hopefully I've got my big fat head slightly out of the way. The first one is one of the ones we're expecting to see. This is about crossplay. This is something that's been one of the biggest issues on console really since release, if not the biggest issue, where crossplay was kind of weird. You couldn't really turn it off properly on Xbox without going into your settings. You couldn't team up between PlayStation and Xbox players and stuff like that. So that's now been changed. It says that you're going to have the option to do console-only crossplay. We've added the console-only crossplay option so that PlayStation and Xbox players can now squad up and battle together in the console-only matchmaking pool. And then they list 3 different options. You can have crossplay turned off, so you'll only match up with people from the same platform, so just Xbox or just PlayStation. Keyboard and mouse is not allowed in this. You can have crossplay on console only, where you'll only match with Xbox and PlayStation players. Keyboard and mouse is also not supported in this. And then you can play open, where you'll match against Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and keyboard and mouse will be allowed. That's on console as well. It's another thing they mentioned on the next part of this letter, is saying that keyboard and mouse support is going to be available in Season 7 from launch on Xbox and PlayStation. But as they've said before, if you want to play with keyboard and mouse on console, you will have to play crossplay on, so you'll get matched with other console players on a mouse and keyboard, but also PC players as well. So do keep that in mind, whether that's something you want to embrace. That's going to be up to you. But I know a lot of people have been asking about keyboard and mouse support for a while on console, so I think people will be pleased with that. One of the issues that I hope isn't still there tomorrow when we get hands on this is the fact that on Xbox you had to go into your game settings, your system settings rather, and turn off crossplay through that. You could turn it on off in the game on PS5, but on Xbox you had to do it in a weird, convoluted way. I'm really hoping we turn on the game tomorrow on Xbox and it works just the same on PS5 and Xbox. If we don't, that's going to be a major disappointment. So that's something we're just going to have to find out tomorrow. But fingers crossed, if I can turn on my Xbox and that toggle works in game, I'm going to be a very, very happy boy. Of course, on top of that, that's also good news for people who wanted to play Xbox and PlayStation together. If you've got a friend and you wanted to team up with your PS5 buddy from Xbox and also play crossplay off, you'll now be able to do that. They do also mention in the other patch notes about there being like a squad code join system or something. So if anyone is having any problems getting into a team, you can make a squad, share a code, and they can enter that and join. So that sounds like it's going to make joining squads a little bit easier, and hopefully, particularly for cross-platform squads as well. Number 2 here, we've got the native mouse and keyboard support we've already talked about. There's a lot of stuff on movement. Some of this stuff was mentioned in the patch notes. They've got analog movement on the left stick. Movement can now scale smoothly based on how far you push the left stick, allowing for more precise fluid control and more realistic character motion. And then there's a few other bits. Smoother right stick input. We've refined the right stick input to be more responsive and stable, which reduces camera jitter and provides a smoother, more natural aiming experience. So some really positive sounding stuff there. As another big criticism this game has had on console was people hating the controls, hating the feel of them. They felt a bit sort of juddery, a bit tweaky, a bit twitchy. So hopefully this will make them feel a little bit smoother now, especially compared to some of the other things that are on the market now in FPS and third-person shooters and stuff. I'll be testing that out. I'll be working on some updated settings to share with you as well. So if you want to see that, make sure you check those out on YouTube. They've also got new reload and interact options. We can now prioritize reload or interact, press to reload, hold to interact, or vice versa. prioritize interact, prioritize reload. So this is basically when you're trying to reload a gun, or you have a partially reloaded gun and then say like a container or a door or a zip line or something, and it's what's going to be interacted with, what's going to be prioritized when you're pressing your button. So you can decide which of those you want to be prioritized and set it to whatever your preference is. So good quality of life change there, nice to see. They've expanded these sensitivity presets have been replaced. They used to have low, medium, high. There's now 8 different levels that you can pick from those, which is a really, really nice change, because I didn't think any of the presets were that good before. So now having 8 different levels, hopefully it'd be quite easy just to find one of those that you can pick and you can enjoy without having to tweak them too much and go and watch YouTubers' sensitivity videos and find the best settings doing that. But if you do want to watch a YouTuber's sensitivity video, then I will be doing an updated one for you, just talking about how all this works and explaining how the different controls work as well. But really good change there, hopefully just making it a bit more accessible, a bit more pick up and play friendly, rather than making it so you need some sort of master's degree in game settings in order to refine your controller settings to something that works. Improved combo input handling. So I think this is to do with when you're doing multiple button presses at the same time, like for turning off a laser or using an operator ability that might require like L, B, and A or something like that. Sounds like they're just working on that so they work a bit more fluidly. I found sometimes like if you didn't press them at the exact same millisecond or frame, then it wouldn't work and it'd do the wrong thing because of those 2 buttons also having independent things that they would do if they weren't pressed at the same time. So hopefully that works nicely. I'll be testing that out tomorrow. One tap friend invite. Friend invitation is now made easy. You can open your friends list and send in some invites with just one button press. Hopefully they make it clear which button that is, because all of the buttons on gamer cards at the moment in the game don't really tell you what they do. They just kind of are ambiguous buttons. So hopefully that works nicely. You can now do VSync in performance mode. So that's a nice change. If you wanted to run VSync, if you're running performance mode for better frames, but you're also getting screen tearing, you'll be able to turn VSync on and that will help reduce the screen tearing and also lock the FPS to the refresh rate of your monitor or the device through which you're watching. Estimated match time display is really interesting here. This is actually not console specific. Well, I don't, maybe it's just on consoles, but that'd be kind of weird. But it's sort of thrown in here as a general thing, but it's actually kind of massive and hopefully is on all platforms. Estimated match time display. Queue times is probably the biggest issue anyone has on the game, well, apart from cheating on PC, but the slow map times and being able to only ever play 0 dam, stuff like that, people find quite annoying. So actually being able to see the estimated match time will be really, really useful. So you can look at a queue and go, okay, I don't mind queuing for 5 minutes for this game. I don't mind queuing for 2 minutes for this. I'm not going to queue here because it says 20 minutes or whatever. I also think they have more work to do to try and just reduce these times, whether that's reducing the number of available queues in the game, whether that's adding in AI operators that fill up spots after someone's queued for 5 minutes or something. I know people don't want to fight against bots, but would you rather fight against bots or queue for Lyally normal for 35 minutes to get a game? So I think there's work to be done there. Maybe there's other solutions for that. I don't know what they are, but that could be one of them. Another really interesting change we had no idea about was auto batch loot. A new automatic loot system now simplifies how the way you loot. Forgive the poor translation from Chinese here. This feature will continue to evolve based on your feedback, so please keep it coming. So they don't really expand on this. That's all they say about it, and then this sort of ambiguous picture here, but it shows auto pickup in progress and then a button you can hold to cancel that on the right hand side. So presumably it's just going to automatically take stuff from the inventory you're looking at. I guess there'll be maybe some settings in your game settings you can modify. They'll dictate what tier stuff you pick up, but it looks like there's some kind of auto looting thing that might be of use, I guess, if there's rare stuff, or it might just be a pain in the ass. So hopefully you can just disable that if you don't like it, but it's an interesting change and could be quite a popular one for some people on controller or on console. On Warfare, there's a couple of changes mentioned as well. Frame rate optimization, they've worked on that, and then user experience enhancements. We've refined all UI navigation logic for a smoother, more intuitive flow, and we've enhanced visuals in focus mode to clearly indicate selected elements and fix missing focus states. So focus mode is what you've got highlighted at the moment and make it a bit clearer. And I guess that's what these green borders they're sort of showing here are indicating. Also mentioned here, they've polished the visuals for buttons, making it more visible and easier to understand. So that's this icons at the bottom here, I guess, just showing a little bit more clearly what you got to press to search someone, to carry someone and stuff like that. They've added UI scale settings, so you'll be able to change the size on screen of some of your UI elements. And that's about it for that dev blog. But yeah, that just came out literally just a few minutes ago, so really interesting. As I said, I'm going to be streaming this all day tomorrow on launch day from midday UTC time on YouTube and on Twitch. So come along, I'll be playing on console, on Xbox, come along, see what it's like. We can test it all out. Ask me any questions you want to ask, we'll try and figure everything out. And I'll be working on some videos this week as well, going into more detail on all of these things and trying to break them down and explain them all for you. And you can have a look and decide if you want to come back and play some more Delta Force this season. Brand new season start tomorrow. I'm also going to have my creator code in-game for the first time, which is pretty exciting. So if you're going to buy the season pass tomorrow when you jump on the game, then why not consider looking for creator code beardguys in-game, and you can help support the channel by doing that. There's only a small select group of creators that have been given in-game creator codes at the moment, so huge thank you to Delta for doing that for me. I really appreciate that, and that's very, very cool to see my name in the game. Nice one. All right, well, thanks so much for watching. Looking forward to getting back on the Delta Force horse tomorrow, and hopefully you'll all come and join me.